بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of life of the Prophet Musa alayhi salam in the Qur'an. So the last thing we mentioned was about the martyrdom of the lady Asiya, wife of Pharaoh. And before that we mentioned the story of the magicians. So when Pharaoh saw that there is no way to stop Musa alayhi salam and the progress of the message, he decided to kill Musa. And it seems that his advisors were not very supportive. So if you go to the verse 26 of Surah Mu'min, وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنُ ذَرُونِي أَقْتُلْ مُوسَى وَلْيَدْعُ رَبَّهُ. He said, let me kill Musa. Let me. From this we can guess that he was facing some resistance. Even people that he was consulting them and discussing his plans with them, they were not supportive, let alone they were not suggesting this. So the suggestion was not coming from people who were around him. He decided himself, and they were not happy, and he says, let me do it. And he can call his Lord to help him. In this way, he wanted to kill Musa alayhi salam and also kill the message by saying that if Musa was truthful, his Lord must have helped him. So he was not sent by Rabbul Alamin. So this was his plan. Why they were not happy to kill Musa? The advisors, they seem to be resistant against this idea. Maybe they were worried of the consequences. They knew that Musa has miracles from God. They saw what happened to magicians when they were transformed. And they were worried that killing Musa could lead to destruction of all people of Pharaoh, all the nation of Pharaoh. Or maybe they were worried that Musa may become now a hero even if he's killed, and it would lead to more fundamental enmity among Bani Israel towards Pharaoh and his system. Maybe Ayatollah Makarim says also maybe some of them were actually not very unhappy to see Pharaoh is challenged, because Pharaoh was an arrogant person anyway. As you know, arrogant people, even they can get angry easily with their own people, even with the people who have served them for decades. If they feel that they are not loyal anymore, even if they doubt, they can try to get rid of them or dismiss them. So some of them maybe were happy that Pharaoh is not without challenge. Anyway, it seems that Pharaoh wanted to convince them and tell them that, let me kill him. To support his idea, he mentioned two worries. So there was one kind of opportunity for Pharaoh to kill Musa and say that he called his Lord and his Lord didn't help. And two worries that if we don't kill him, he may damage religion of people and he may corrupt the land. So he said, "Inni akhafu an yubaddila dinakum aw an yudhhira fil ardil fasad." I have fear. But the way he speaks, it's as if he has no fear for himself. He doesn't have any selfish fear, although it was very selfish, because he was worried about their religion to be changed when he was the Lord of that religion. He was worried about the land to be corrupted because he was the ruler of that land. And for him, corruption was that someone else would take over. That was enough as corruption. So you see, he's very selfish, but he's trying to hide his selfishness behind things that would seem to be very selfless, something that people are happy to give their lives for. You know, this must be very selfless that when you are happy to give your life for something. يُبَدِّلَ دِينَكُمْ. He may change your religion, or he may bring forth in the land in Egypt al-fasad, corruption. This is his argument, very cleverly, of course, as much as a selfish person can be clever. Real cleverness is to be honest and to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is satanic cleverness. So he tried to be very clever and justify killing of Musa. Many times also, when people become very established, when they have lots of power, they become arrogant. And arrogant people normally are impatient. They don't have that humility of those who are patient. In my understanding, it's very hard to find someone who is arrogant and patient. Patience needs humility. So, he was impatient. He wanted to solve the problem quickly. Musa alayhi salam at this point was not worried about his own death, but he was worried about the mission and about the false accusations that he's spreading. وقال موسى إني عذت بربي وربكم. Musa tried to make something very intelligent here. Musa didn't let Pharaoh's discourse of separating people of Egypt from the real Lord, their God, to be successful. Because Pharaoh was saying, these Bani Israel have another religion, we have another religion. This was nationalistic understanding of religion. And they are going to damage our land, they are going to damage our religion. So wanted to partition. And in this way wanted to gain their full support by triggering all the selfish, sectarian, ethnic kind of bias that they have. On the other hand, Musa alayhi salam says, Rabbi wa Rabbikum. My Lord and your Lord is the same. Don't accept, don't buy this idea of Pharaoh that there are two religions, two gods, etc. I seek refuge with God, who is my Lord and your Lord. From what? من كل متكبر لا يؤمن بيوم الحساب. From every arrogant person who doesn't believe in the day of reckoning. This is the root of the problem. Takabbur and lacking faith in the day of judgment. Because if you believe in the day of judgment, your heart will become very soft and very careful. No place for arrogance. And at this point, Musa seems to make this calculation, this assessment, that there is no point in talking to Pharaoh. He talked to the same people that Pharaoh addressed them. Pharaoh told them, let me kill Musa, etc. And Musa also talks to same people and says, I seek refuge with my Lord and your Lord from every arrogant person who doesn't believe in the day of reckoning. So he tries not to be too confrontational with Pharaoh. Pharaoh is not going to listen, but try to have some influence, some positive influence on the advisors of Pharaoh, from whom Pharaoh is seeking endorsement for his decision to kill Musa. So if Musa manages to change their opinion, he will not be killed, plus his service can continue, plus these people can get closer to the real God. But it seems that Pharaoh was not going to stop. And therefore, there was a need for someone else to intervene. Sometimes one person can change the situation, even if he's not a prophet or imam or ma'soom. A mu'min can change the situation when in the right time a person who is prepared and is wise gets involved. Not too early, not too late. In wise activism, you should always remember that you should be prepared, but not rush, and not delay unnecessarily. In the right moment. Many people think right moment is the first moment that is possible to do something. No. Right moment sometimes means you have to wait. But not wait too long. So you have to understand when. And this is different from every situation to another situation. This can change. No one can generalize. So وقال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون. A man who was a believer, but he was not from Bani Israel. He was from the same group, from the same clan of Pharaoh. But he had believed. How Lady Asiya had believed, how magicians had believed, this person had believed. But yaktumu imanah. He was hiding his faith. He was doing taqiyya. It shows that faith is not something that by itself, by definition, has to be exposed. I repeat, faith is not something that by definition has to be exposed. Otherwise, you cannot hide it. Faith is something that is a matter of submission to the truth in the heart. If the situation permits, you would expose it with shahadatain, with kalima, with declaration, and with actions. Sometimes you cannot expose it, but you have still the faith. So this person knew that between him and God, he is faithful. But he didn't feel that he has to announce to Pharaoh and others, because it was not going any good or any considerable good. They could have killed him and he would not be able to do anything, to offer anything for Musa. He felt that if he hides his iman, he can still monitor what is happening. If there is any important news, to pass it on to Musa. If there is any plot that he can stop, he can do it. So he could be more successful in protecting and supporting the mission of Musa by hiding his faith. So here he said something in favor of Musa, but it seems that he was not very explicitly say, I believed in Musa. He tried to be like a fair and impartial advisor. But you could detect that he's a faithful in Allah. But he doesn't say it directly, or he doesn't say that I believe in Musa. So he said, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَنْ يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. Are you killing someone who says, my Lord is Allah? In their heart, they believed in Allah. Even Pharaoh, although sometimes he was denying, but in his heart he knew that there is Allah, there is creator of the skies and the earth. So, are you killing someone who says Rabbi Allah? وَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. And he has brought you clear signs from your Lord. He has brought mu'jiza. You saw the mu'jiza of Musa, the stick and the hand. You saw what magicians, did. And this man has not said anything selfish, anything sectarian, anything that could threaten our security or our faith. Again, you see, he is also trying to remind them of their fitri knowledge and devotion to Allah. Because we believe every person in his fitra or her fitra has recognition and devotion to God, understanding and eagerness for God. So he is trying to indirectly support Musa alayhi salam. وَإِنْ يَكُ كَاذِبًا فَعَلَيْهِ كَذِبُهُ وَإِنْ يَكُ صَادِقًا يُصِبْكُمْ بَعْضُ الَّذِي يَعِدُكُمْ. According to the probability, either he is a liar or he is honest. If he is a liar, if he is falsely attributing something to God, so God would be the first person to take care of him. فَعَلَيْهِ كَذِبُهُ. Then his lie will be upon himself. He will be responsible. You don't need to worry. But if he is truthful, if he is really sent by God, يُصِبْكُمْ بَعْضُ الَّذِي يَعِدُكُمْ, at least some of the things that he is threatening will hit you. Even if not all, at least some of it. And the evidence suggests that it's more probable that he is truthful. You know, he wants to speak in the way that he is not very explicitly appearing as a believer. He wants to speak as someone who has innate knowledge of God and still one of them who tries to be fair. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي مَنْ هُوَ مُسْرِفٌ كَذَّابٌ. Indeed, God is not guiding anyone who is musrif, who is a transgressor, who does things in excess, and is a very liar. If Musa is this person, he's not going to guide him. If you are such people or Pharaoh is such person, Allah is not going to guide you. So, meaning that there is evidence that he's from God. Number one. Number two, he didn't say anything bad. Number three, even if we say there is no evidence and he may be a liar, okay, let us calculate the benefits of both sides. If we fight him and kill him, what are we going to achieve and what we may lose? If he is truthful, again, what are we going to achieve, what are we going to lose? And be careful that God is not going to guide people who are doing things in excess and are liars. I think he didn't mean by musrif Musa. Although he's mentioned this maybe as something, that could be for both sides, but Musa is not doing any israf. This is israf in Pharaoh, that he is doing everything in excess. When it comes also to violence, he is doing things in excess. He's killing all the children, sons of Bani Israel. Isn't this israf? He is saying that we should kill someone like Musa just because he has made some points. He has not, used any weapon. He has not, attacked anyone. And also, Kadhab. Who is Kadhab? Have you ever heard any lie from Musa? You know Musa very well. Has ever Musa in private or public lied? I'm sure many times they had heard from Pharaoh lying. So, then he said, Ya qawm, limanil mulkul yawm, ظاهرين في الأرض فمن ينصرنا من بأس الله إن جاءنا. He said, my people, to make their heart softer, he said, Ya qawm, my people, lakumul mulk al-yawm. Today, you are very established. You have the kingdom. You can rule. You are dominant on the land. You are ruling over Egypt. Meaning Allah has given you power. Allah has given you a strength. But who is going to help us? You say, us, qawmi. So he's trying to make them feel they are the same. Who is going to help us if Allah's punishment comes? Be very careful. You may lose what you have. Fir'aun felt that this is risky, it's dangerous. He's trying to awaken their fitrah, bringing them to common sense. Already they had some resistance, so Fir'aun felt that he has to interfere. قال فرعون ما أريكم إلا ما أرى وما أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد. He says, I am not showing you except what I am seeing. Meaning, I am not telling you anything that I don't myself believe. I am just sharing with you my understanding. But he didn't say my understanding, because understanding can be sometimes right, sometimes wrong. He says what I see. He is saying that you are not as clever and as intelligent like me, so that you can see the danger. I can see the danger and I try to show you the danger. I'm not guessing, I'm seeing and trying to make you see. وَمَا أَهْدِيكُمْ إِلَّا سَبِيلَ الرَّشَادِ. And I am not guiding you except towards the way, the path of rashad, guidance. So he tries to say, I am a very nice person. I just want to show you what you cannot see. I want you to show you the truth. I want you to be guided. But for him, all these things meant himself. Sabil al-Rashad means the way to serve Fir'aun. Hidayah means to demand their obedience. He has other meanings. He's not honest. But he speaks in this way. Then the mu'min of Al Fir'aun, that believing man, felt that he needs now also to get support from their knowledge of history. Because they are not the first people who are faced with prophets and messengers of God and their enemies and enemies of the truth. So he wants to tell them, you are educated people. You are aware of previous nations and how they were perished. So be careful. وَقَالَ الَّذِي آمَنَ يَا قَوْمِ. Again he said, my people, إِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ مِثْلَ يَوْمِ الْأَحْزَابِ مثل دأب قوم نوح وعاد وثمود والذين من بعدهم. I am worried that, like the situation that happened to previous parties who were wrongdoers, happened to you, like the habit of people of Nuh and Ad and Thamud and those who came after them. Of course, if they were destroyed, it's not because Allah was, na'udhu billah, unjust. It means they were entitled. وَمَا اللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظُلْمًا لِلْعِبَادِ. Allah doesn't want injustice for his servants. Neither he does injustice, nor he wants anyone else to do injustice to his servants. So if they were destroyed, it was because they were entitled for it. وَيَا قَوْمِ, again he repeats for the third time, يَا قَوْمِ أَنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ يَوْمَ التَّنَادِ. If we can go to the next ayah. My people, I have fear for you the day of Tanad, when call will be made. يَوْمَ تُوَلُّونَ مُدْبِرِينَ, when you will be turned around while you are turning your back. You will have no protector from God. If God is judging you for punishment, no one can protect you. مَا لَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ عَاصِمٍ وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ. If someone deserves misguidance, no one can guide him. If Allah deprives you of guidance because of your actions, of course not without reason, who is going to guide you? وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ. So Yawm al-Tanad is the day of calling mutually, maybe the day of judgment, because everyone who is in need of help says, come and help me. They call each other, but they cannot help. So Pharaoh seems that was not able to make the decision for killing approved and supported by those who were there, and there was a delay. But this turned enmity of Pharaoh towards this person. And later he decided to punish him severely, maybe torturing him and killing him. If you go to Surah Mu'min, verse 45, please. Surah Mu'min, verse 45. So, فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected this man, this believing man, from the bad things that they planned against him. So they wanted to torture him or kill him or both, but Allah saved him. وَحَاقَ بِآلِ فِرْعَوْنَ سُوءُ الْعَذَابِ. And in this way, Pharaoh and his people received punishment, the sentence for punishment, which will happen on the day of judgment, but also in Barzakh, because النار يعرضون عليها غدوا وعشيا is for Barzakh, وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةِ is for the day of judgment. In some texts it says that this mu'min managed to go to mountains or to a mount to hide, and in some sources it says that he joined Musa and Bani Israel when they were crossing the sea. And Ayatollah Makaram says both can be correct. So maybe first he went for hiding, and then when there was appropriate time, he joined Musa and Bani Israel when they wanted to cross the sea. Okay, Alhamdulillah, this part also finished. Of course, much more Qur'an has to offer, but we are just trying to do a little explanation. The next thing that we want to discuss, inshallah, next week, bi'iznillah, is about the idea of Fir'aun building a very high place to be able to reach God of Musa and perhaps challenge him. Inshallah, we'll talk about it later, inshallah, next week. Ya Haman ibn li sarhan la'alli ablughu al-asbab. He's told his minister, Haman, make for me a palace, a very high place, so that I can reach the roads of sky, of heaven. Maybe I can get access to the Lord of Musa. Inshallah, we'll talk about it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.